done? Let's ask Congressman Andy Biggs. Congressman, thanks for joining the show.
Thanks, Charles. Good to be with you. Thanks.
Listen, the House had its own version of this tooth and nail, drag out, race against the clock, and they made it by just the tiniest of margins. So we know it's going to be close. How do you think it's going over there?
Well, I've talked to several people. I think they're working real hard. I don't know whether to be optimistic or not, but I do think they're going to get something done, to be honest with you. And it's maybe after the 4th of July break, but I am pretty certain they're going to get to where they need to be.
Well, here's the thing, though, at least from my point of view, when I start hearing buzzwords like mean, let's give it some heart, and when you start to think that Medicaid is a serious stumbling block, particularly for the more moderate members of the Senate and, of course, the House, it feels like ultimately what comes back to you guys is going to be something that's going to give the House Freedom Caucus some serious indigestion.
Well, you just really can't be sure. Whatever comes out of the Senate is going to have to go through conference over here, and we're going to have to look at it very closely. So we're watching to see what they do. I know there's all kinds of proposals over there, but you know what? We're just not going to know until it gets here, and when it gets here, that's when we'll decide, how good it is. That's when we'll decide.
Sure, there's no doubt about that, and we're speculating here, but we are speculating based on comments and based on the opposition that we've heard voiced so far, and based really, to be quite frank with you, on the direction I sense coming from the White House in of itself. But are the stakes so big? Have the promises been so enormous that there's no way the Republicans will allow Obamacare to continue, no matter which constituency within the Republican Party has a fall on their sword? Do you think ultimately we will get a new health care law?
I think you will. I don't know the quality of it, to be quite honest with you, but I will tell you this. The Republicans are committed to repealing Obamacare. We're committed to doing something here. We don't want to let this go. So, yeah, they're going to keep working. That's why I say we should probably be working through August. We've got a lot to do, and this may take a little bit longer than we thought.
You know, here's the interesting thing. When I saw Senator Moran yesterday added to it, and I started to do some of the background work, apparently a lot of people gave his office the bum's rush, say, hey, you're going to kill people, you're cutting this, you're cutting that, and that might have swayed him. And it makes me think that if I'm in this process, if I'm in this decision-making process, I'd rather not go on recess. I'd rather not face these town halls, which could be tainted in a way that could even put more pressure on me as a Republican not to vote for a bill.
Well, you know what? The people that are coming out to those town halls and saying those types of things, they're not really Republican voters anyway, to be candid with you. They're people out trying to stir up the pot a little bit. And isn't it interesting that so recently we were talking about the collegiality and getting along, and yet we're hearing today and other days things like, oh yeah, if this bill passes, people are going to die, children are going to die. And that's really inappropriate, because that's what stokes up the kind of bonfire that we have here and division in this political nation today. So yeah, we shouldn't be doing that. But I'm hopeful. I am hopeful something gets done.
I agree with you 1,000%. In fact, I think the Democrats in this particular case have been their own worst enemy. We need to be level-headed and really think about this as a nation. The stakes are too high. Congressman Andy Biggs, thank you very, very much. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, Charles.
Hey, now I want to